Have you ever felt the chilling silence of his absence, a void that seems to stretch endlessly? It's the kind of silence that weighs heavy on your heart, a silence that speaks volumes about what's been lost. You may wonder why he's withdrawn, why the laughter has faded, and why the warmth of his presence has turned into cold indifference. It's easy to think you've lost him for good, but the truth is, there's a singular, powerful force that can draw him back into your life. When someone you care about distances themselves, it often feels like an emotional prison. You replay the moments that led to this separation, searching for clues, questioning your worth, and grappling with the isolation that follows. But here's the truth. His silence isn't a permanent goodbye. It's a call for something deeper, something that transcends the superficial exchanges of everyday life. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a vast ocean, waves crashing around you, drowning out the noise of the world. In the depths of that chaos, there lies a secret, a treasure hidden beneath the surface. The key to unlocking his heart again is not in pleading or chasing after him, but in something much more profound. It's about recognizing your own value, your own strength, and your ability to cultivate a love that is magnetic, irresistible, and transformative. What if I told you that the very act of pulling away, both for him and for you, could lead to a deeper connection? When he retreats, he's not just distancing himself from you. He's stepping back to evaluate the relationship, to confront his own feelings. And while it may feel like rejection, it's also an opportunity for growth. This is the moment where you must shift your focus inward, nurturing your own spirit and rediscovering the essence of who you are. In this video, we will explore 4 crucial steps that can help him see you in a new light, reigniting the spark that once burned brightly between you. Each step is designed to peel away the layers of uncertainty and resentment, revealing the love that still lingers beneath the surface. You'll learn how to reclaim your power, not by seeking validation from him, but by embracing your own worth. What if, by choosing to invest in yourself, you could create a space so radiant that he couldn't help but want to return? It's time to stop waiting for him to make the first move, and instead take ownership of your life and emotions. This journey isn't just about him. It's about you becoming the best version of yourself, a version that draws him back like a moth to a flame. Stay with us until the end as we unravel the secrets that will not only open the door for his return, but will also empower you to stand strong, whole, and unapologetically yourself. This is your time to shine, to rediscover the magic of who you are, and to draw him back into your orbit, not out of need, but from a place of abundance and love. Are you ready to uncover the truth that will transform your relationship and heal the silence? Let's dive in. Liked what you're hearing? Then subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, did you know this story? What caught your attention the most? As I stood on the precipice of this personal journey, I realized that the first crucial step in drawing him back was to embrace the art of self-discovery. Often, when we experience a rift, we find ourselves consumed by thoughts of the other person, what went wrong, how we can fix it, and what we should say to bring them back. But what if the real magic lies not in our attempts to change their mind, but in transforming our own perspective? Self-discovery is more than just a buzzword. It's a profound exploration of your own identity, strengths, and dreams. It's about peeling back the layers of self-doubt and insecurity to reveal the vibrant, dynamic individual waiting to emerge. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, gazing into your own eyes. What do you see? Perhaps you see traces of sadness or confusion, but beneath that, there lies a reservoir of potential, a spark of creativity, and an unyielding spirit. This is the essence of who you are, and it's time to honor it. Start by engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Whether it's picking up a long-forgotten hobby, diving into a new book, or even pursuing a fitness goal, these endeavors will not only uplift your spirit, but also redefine how you view yourself. When you engage wholeheartedly in things that light you up, you radiate an energy that is magnetic. He'll sense this, even from a distance, and it will spark curiosity in him. What has she been up to? Why does she seem different? This intrigue can be the first step in bridging the gap between you. The second step in this transformative journey is to cultivate emotional independence. This doesn't mean shutting him out or pretending he doesn't matter. Rather, it's about finding joy and fulfillment within yourself. Reflect on the moments in your life when you felt whole, those times when you were your own best company. Rekindle those feelings by setting personal goals, surrounding yourself with supportive friends, and engaging in self-care practices that nurture your well-being. When you become emotionally independent, you send a powerful message. You are not defined by his presence or absence. You are complete as you are. Next, consider the importance of communication, albeit in a way that draws him in rather than pushes him away. It's natural to feel a surge of emotions and the urge to reach out, to pour your heart out in a desperate attempt to reconnect. But instead of bombarding him with messages filled with longing, let your actions speak louder than your words. Show him the changes you're making in your life, the joy you're cultivating, and the strength you're embracing. This will intrigue him and might just prompt him to reach out first, driven by a desire to understand what sparked this transformation. The final step in this journey of drawing him back is to embody the energy of abundance. When you view yourself as a source of love and positivity, you create an aura that is inviting and compelling. This does not mean being someone you're not. Rather, it's about amplifying your authentic self and showcasing your unique qualities. Remember, love is not a finite resource. By nurturing your own heart and spirit, you become a vessel of love that is open to giving and receiving. This energy is what will ultimately draw him back, as he realizes that the connection you once shared has the potential to flourish in new and exciting ways. As we explore these steps together, understand that this journey is not about manipulation or playing games. It's about genuine growth and transformation. It's about reclaiming your narrative and becoming the person who attracts love effortlessly. When you focus on your own evolution, you create an environment that is ripe for rekindling the connection that once brought you both joy. Are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery, emotional independence, and abundance? Let's continue to uncover the secrets that will not only invite him back into your life, but also empower you to become the best version of yourself. The path ahead is filled with possibilities, and the time to take the first step is now. As I delved deeper into this journey of self-discovery, I began to realize that each step was not just a means to an end, but a powerful awakening of my own essence. Every moment spent nurturing my passions and aspirations became a testament to my growth, a silent declaration that I was reclaiming my identity. I immersed myself in activities that sparked joy within me, painting, hiking, and even trying my hand at cooking exotic dishes. With every brushstroke, every step on the trail, and every spice I experimented with, I felt more alive, more vibrant. I was no longer just a reflection of someone else's expectations. I was becoming the artist of my own life. As I transformed, I noticed the subtle shifts around me. Friends began to comment on the newfound glow in my demeanor, and strangers seemed more inclined to engage in conversation. It was as if my energy was contagious, radiating warmth and positivity. I began to understand the profound truth behind emotional independence. I didn't need him to validate my worth or fill my days. I was learning to find joy in my own company. I filled my schedule with activities that made my heart sing, surrounded myself with uplifting friends, and prioritized self-care rituals that nourished my soul. In doing so, I sent a clear message, not only to myself, but to him as well. I am complete, with or without you. Yet, amidst this journey of personal evolution, I found myself grappling with the urge to reach out. The silence from him was deafening at times, and I could feel the weight of longing pressing against my heart. But I recall the importance of communication, not as a means to plead for his attention, but as a way to showcase my transformation. I embrace the art of showing rather than telling. Instead of drafting heartfelt messages filled with longing and regret, I began to share snippets of my life on social media, capturing moments of joy and fulfillment. I posted pictures of my art, my adventures, and the small victories that brought me happiness. I wanted him to see that I was thriving, that I was not just waiting for him to return, but was actively creating a life that was rich and meaningful. The magic of this approach was palpable. It ignited curiosity within him, a flicker of intrigue that could not be easily extinguished. I imagined him scrolling through my posts, pausing to take in the vibrant colors of my paintings, the laughter captured in candid moments with friends, and the serene tranquility of my hikes. I hoped he would wonder what had sparked this change, what had fueled the fire of my spirit. This was the energy of abundance I was cultivating, not just for myself, but as an invitation for him to reconnect. As days turned into weeks, I felt a shift within myself. The longing I once felt began to transform into an empowered sense of freedom. I was no longer anchored by the weight of his absence. Instead, I was soaring, discovering the heights of my own potential. Love, I realized, was not a finite resource. It was a boundless wellspring, and by nurturing my own heart, I was opening myself up to give and receive love in its purest form. This realization liberated me from the chains of insecurity and fear. But still, I understood that the journey wasn't solely about me. It was about us, the connection we once shared, and the potential for something even more beautiful to blossom from the ashes of the past. I began to envision the possibilities of our reunion, not as a desperate need, but as a joyful anticipation. I wanted him to return not because I was lost without him, but because together we could create something extraordinary, building upon the solid foundation of who we both were becoming. With every passing day, I held on to the belief that the secret to drawing him back lay not in manipulation or games, but in authentic growth and transformation. I was becoming the person who not only attracted love effortlessly, but also empowered others to do the same. The more I embraced this truth, the clearer my path became, illuminated by the promise of new beginnings. And so I continued forward, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that the best was yet to come. The journey of self-discovery, emotional independence, and abundance was just the beginning, and I was excited to see how it would unfold. The time to take that leap of faith was now. I ventured deeper into my journey, armed with the knowledge that my growth wasn't just for myself. It was an invitation for him to see the changes I had embraced. I remembered the quote I had stumbled upon during one of my late-night readings. "Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find your true self." How true it felt. The person I had been before was a mere shadow, molded by the expectations of love and relationships. Now I was a vibrant tapestry of experiences, passions, and aspirations. As I continued to flourish, I noticed a subtle shift within me. The urge to reach out to him transformed into an understanding that when the time was right, I would know. I wasn't in a rush. Instead, I reveled in the present moment, cherishing the friendships I was nurturing and the hobbies I was pursuing. My art became a form of expression, a conduit for my emotions, and every stroke of the brush was a declaration of my newfound freedom. One evening, while I was painting the sunset, hues of orange and pink swirling on the canvas, I felt a sudden wave of inspiration wash over me. It was as if the universe was nudging me to create a piece that encapsulated my journey, an artwork titled Rebirth. My brush danced across the canvas, embodying the struggles and triumphs of my transformation. I poured my heart into it, and as the colors melded together, I felt a sense of catharsis. Days later, I decided to unveil Rebirth at a local art gallery. It was a celebration of not just my art, but of my journey. Friends rallied around, their support unwavering as they filled the space with laughter and admiration. I stood there amidst the vibrant energy, feeling a rush of gratitude. It was in that moment I realized that I was no longer seeking validation. I was sharing a part of myself with the world, and it felt exhilarating. As the night progressed, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. My heart skipped a beat as I locked eyes with him. He was standing at the edge of the gallery, his expression thoughtful as he absorbed the artwork. The air was charged with an unspoken tension, and I could feel the gravity of our past pulling us into a shared moment. Our gazes held for what felt like an eternity, and in that instant, I understood the true power of what I had created, not just in the form of paint on canvas, but in the transformation of my own spirit. With each person that approached to discuss my work, I could sense him inching closer, curiosity piqued. I was no longer the girl clinging to memories of our past. I was a woman who had forged a new path, and it was written all over me. I smiled, engaging in conversations, sharing the stories behind my art, and basking in the joy of connection. I could feel his presence as a silent witness to my metamorphosis, and it filled me with a sense of strength. As the night drew to a close, I found myself standing outside, the crisp air refreshing against my skin. I took a deep breath, feeling the thrill of the evening linger. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned to find him standing there, his expression a mix of admiration and something deeper, perhaps recognition of the change he had witnessed. "Your work is incredible," he said, the sincerity in his voice sending a ripple of warmth through me. "I didn't realize how much you had grown." "Thank you," I replied, my heart racing. "It's been a journey." "I can see that," he continued, stepping closer. "You look happy." "I am," I admitted, the truth spilling out freely. "I've learned to find joy in myself, in my art, and in my life beyond us." For a moment, silence enveloped us, and I could feel the weight of everything unsaid hanging in the air. But I didn't feel the need to rush. I had learned the value of patience, of allowing things to unfold naturally. Instead of grasping for the past, I stood in this moment, fully present and open to whatever possibilities lay ahead. "Can we talk?" he finally asked, his voice soft yet resolute. I nodded, my heart fluttering with a mix of anticipation and calm. The night was ripe with potential, and I was ready to embrace whatever came next. We walked side by side, the distance between us shrinking with each step, and I felt a spark ignite, a promise that perhaps we were beginning a new chapter together, one built on mutual respect and the foundation of our individual selves. In that moment, I understood the secret that had drawn him back. It was my own transformation that had sparked his interest, and I was ready to explore where this journey would take us. As we walked, I could feel the air thick with possibility, each step pulling us closer to a conversation I had longed for yet feared. The streetlights cast a warm glow around us, illuminating the path we were treading, both literally and metaphorically. I glanced sideways at him, trying to gauge the emotions behind his calm facade. There was a softness in his eyes that hinted at vulnerability, a stark contrast to the distance he had kept for so long. "I've missed this," he said suddenly, breaking the silence. "Talking to you like this. It feels different." "It is different," I replied, my voice steady but infused with an undercurrent of excitement. "I'm different. I've had to learn to be okay on my own, to find my voice without relying on someone else to define me." He nodded, and I could see the wheels turning in his mind. "I noticed that at the gallery tonight. You were so alive. It's like you're radiating something I haven't seen in a long time." His words wrapped around me, enveloping me in a warmth I had almost forgotten existed. I felt a rush of pride at his acknowledgement. It was validation of the journey I had embarked upon. "Art has become my refuge," I explained. "It's where I pour my heart and soul, where I find clarity. Every piece I create tells a story of my growth, of my struggles and triumphs." He looked at me, really looked, and I could see the recognition dawning in his expression. "You've turned pain into beauty," he said softly. "That's powerful." "Thank you," I responded, feeling a blush creep to my cheeks. I wanted to share that power with others, to inspire them to find their own paths, just as I did. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and with each shared thought, the distance between us continued to dissolve. I was no longer the girl who had watched him walk away, lost and heartbroken. Instead, I was a woman who had learned to embrace her own worth, and that confidence was intoxicating. As we reached a small park, we found a bench nestled beneath a flowering tree. We sat down, and I could feel the tension in the air shift, becoming more intimate. I looked up at the stars twinkling above us, a reminder of how vast the universe was, yet here we were, two souls finding their way back to one another. "Can I ask you something?" he said, his voice laced with hesitation. "Of course," I replied, my heart pounding with both curiosity and apprehension. "Why did you let me go?" His question hung between us, heavy yet necessary. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. I thought I was holding on to something that wasn't meant to be. I realized I was trying to fix what was broken instead of accepting that we had both changed. I had to let go to find myself. He nodded slowly, processing my words. I didn't realize how much I needed that space too. I thought I could just move on without understanding what I was leaving behind. "Sometimes we need distance to see things clearly," I said, my heart aching for the moments we lost. "But I believe that everything happens for a reason. We both needed to grow." He turned to me, his eyes searching mine. "Do you think we can find our way back to each other?" A rush of hope coursed through me. "I believe we can, but it has to be different this time. We have to communicate, to respect each other's journeys. I want us to build something new, rooted in who we are now." "I want that too," he replied, and I could see the sincerity in his eyes. "I want to support you, to be part of your life again, but I need to be sure I'm doing it for the right reasons." "Then let's take it slow," I suggested, the excitement of possibility bubbling within me. "Let's explore what this could be without rushing into anything. We both deserve that." He smiled, a genuine smile that reached his eyes, and I felt a wave of warmth wash over me. I'd like that. As we sat there beneath the stars, I realized that the secret to him coming back wasn't a grand gesture or a plea for reconciliation. It was the transformation I underwent in his absence. I had become someone who knew her worth, who embraced her passions, and who was willing to create her own happiness. And in that realization, I understood that whatever unfolded next, I was ready to face it head-on. The journey ahead was ours to explore, and I felt a thrill at the thought of walking it together, hand in hand. As we sat in that park, the world around us faded into a soft blur, leaving just the two of us suspended in a moment that felt both fragile and profound. I could hear the gentle rustle of leaves overhead, the distant laughter of children playing in the fading light, and for the first time in what felt like ages, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. "I've missed this," he said again, his voice softening as the weight of our conversation settled in. "I've missed us." There was an honesty in his words that struck a chord deep within me. It was as if he had peeled back the layers of time and distance, revealing the vulnerability that lay beneath. "So have I," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. "But we can't go back to what we were. We have to create something new." "Agreed," he said, a glimmer of determination in his eyes. "I want to learn about the woman you've become. I want to understand the journey you've taken, to appreciate every brushstroke you've painted on the canvas of your life." I smiled at his earnestness, feeling a rush of warmth. "It hasn't always been easy. There were days I felt completely lost, unsure if I'd ever find my way back to myself. But each challenge taught me something valuable. I learned to embrace my flaws, to celebrate my victories, no matter how small." He leaned in closer, his interest piqued. What was the turning point for you? When did you realize you had to change? I took a moment to gather my thoughts, reflecting on the pivotal moments that had shaped my transformation. It was during a particularly dark time. I had just finished a piece that had taken everything out of me, and instead of feeling proud, I felt empty. That's when I understood that I needed to create, not just for others, but for myself. I needed to reconnect with my passion, to let it guide me rather than let it be a means to an end. He nodded, absorbing my words. And that's when you found your voice? Yes, I said, my heart racing at the thought of that pivotal moment. I made a promise to myself that I would never silence my needs again, that I would pursue what ignited my spirit. That's when art became my sanctuary, a place where I could explore, experiment, and express my true self. I can see that, he replied, his gaze steady and sincere. It's like you've blossomed into someone stunning. I admire that about you. His compliment felt like a gentle caress, igniting a spark of hope within me. Thank you, I said, feeling vulnerable yet empowered. But I want you to know that my journey is ongoing. There are still parts of me I'm discovering, and I want you to be a part of that process, if you're willing. I am, he said, his voice firm. I want to support you, to be there for you as you continue to grow. I don't want to hinder your journey, I want to walk alongside you. His words resonated deeply, and I felt a rush of excitement. We could be allies in this, navigating the complexities of our lives together, each of us flourishing in our own right. Let's make a pact, I proposed, to always communicate, to share our dreams and fears without judgment, to keep the lines open, no matter what happens. I like that, he replied, a smile breaking across his face. It's a commitment to honesty. As we sat there, under the canopy of stars, I felt as if we were at the precipice of something beautiful. I could see a future that wasn't defined by our past mistakes, but rather by our willingness to grow, to learn, and to love differently. The air was thick with possibility, and for the first time, I felt like we were truly on the same page. The weeks that followed were filled with shared moments, long conversations over coffee, quiet evenings spent in the glow of streetlights, and laughter that echoed through the corridors of our memories. We learned to navigate each other's worlds, to understand the nuances of our lives. He came to my art shows, marveling at the pieces I created, while I listened intently as he shared his own struggles and triumphs. Every interaction felt like a fresh brushstroke on a canvas that was still being painted. I reveled in the rhythm of our connection, each encounter weaving a thread that pulled us closer. And yet there remained an underlying tension, a fear of what might happen if we stumbled again. "Do you ever think about the past?" I asked one evening, as we walked through the park, our fingers brushing against one another. "Sometimes," he admitted, his gaze distant, "but I try not to dwell on it. The past is a part of us, but it doesn't define our future. I want to focus on what we can build together now." His words hung in the air, a testament to the growth we both had experienced. And I realized then that we had forged something far more profound than either of us had anticipated. Our connection was not merely a rekindling of an old flame. It was a transformation, a rebirth of sorts. Yet, deep down, I could feel the echoes of our past lingering, whispering doubts that threatened to unravel the tapestry we had begun to weave. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue on everything around us, I decided it was time to confront those lingering fears. "What if we face challenges again?" I asked, my voice steady, but my heart raced. "What if we slip back into old patterns?" He paused, considering my words carefully. "We will," he finally replied, a hint of honesty in his tone. "But that's the beauty of it. It's not about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them. We've both changed, and each challenge will only strengthen our bond if we face them together." His answer resonated with me, a reminder that love is not just a feeling, but an action, an ongoing commitment to navigate the complexities of life hand to hand. And in that moment, I felt a surge of determination. I was no longer the person I had been. I was ready to embrace whatever came our way, knowing we would tackle it together. So we made it our mission to cultivate open communication, to check in with each other regularly and share our feelings, fears, and aspirations without shame. We agreed to be vulnerable, to hold space for one another's discomfort, and to always choose honesty over silence. It was a pact that we both cherished, a promise to honor our individual journeys while intertwining our paths. As the months rolled by, I witnessed a profound change in myself. I began to create with even more fervor, using my art as a conduit for my emotions. Each brushstroke became an extension of my soul, a representation of my growth and healing. He often joined me in my studio, offering his insights and encouragement, and I found that sharing my creative process only deepened our connection. One day, as I was finishing a piece that I had poured my heart into, he stood behind me, admiring it. "This one feels different," he said softly. "It's like you've captured a piece of your journey in it." I turned to face him, a smile breaking across my face. "It is. It's about resilience, about finding beauty in brokenness." He nodded, his eyes shimmering with understanding. "Just like us." That moment marked a turning point in our relationship. We began to see our individual pasts not as burdens, but as the very foundations that had led us to this point. Every scar, every mistake had shaped who we had become, and we chose to embrace those imperfections. But life is never without its trials. There were moments of uncertainty, times when we found ourselves drifting apart, caught up in our personal struggles. During those times, I would remind myself of our pact, of the importance of reaching out and reconnecting. It was during these moments of doubt that I learned the true power of vulnerability. I discovered that the secret to keeping him close was not just in my words, but in my willingness to show my authentic self, flaws and all. One evening, as we sat on my balcony, the city lights twinkling below us, I shared my fears of losing him. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't keep this connection alive? My voice trembled, the weight of my vulnerability hanging in the air. He took my hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "You are more than enough. We're in this together, and I choose you every single day. It's not about perfection, it's about growth. Together, we can navigate anything." In that moment, I understood the essence of our bond. It was about embracing the journey, not just the destination. It was about choosing to love despite the challenges, to lean on each other when the road got tough. As time passed, our relationship flourished. We learned to celebrate not only our victories, but also our struggles, turning them into stepping stones toward a brighter future. Our shared experiences became the glue that held us together, a testament to the strength of our love. Eventually, I realized that the secret to making him come back, to keeping him close, was not some grand gesture, but a simple truth. It was about being unapologetically myself and inviting him to journey alongside me. It was about creating a safe space for both of us to grow and to flourish, knowing that no matter the challenges we faced, we would always find our way back to each other. And that, in itself, was a beautiful revelation.